in terms of gain staging, to give it a little extra color or a little extra sass. And then, from the gain staging, having some sort of built-in or external compression situation just to control and give the sound of, maybe if it's a clean guitar part, a little extra weight, because I know I'm going to end up wanting to do that in post. I don't overdo it, but I might give that a little bit if it's going to ultimately help me get a little further, and know that when I go to reamp it, or maybe I won't even have to reamp it because I can find something, if it's just a supplemental pad sound, then I have that baked into the chain already. So it's those kind of basic things that I will do because I know that they'll inform the responsiveness of how I cut the take, and they will bring out creativity that will only help me kick the idea further down the road, not leaving everything to post, because I think the quicker you can commit, the quicker you can start making decisions based off of seeing that roadmap come together. But then, lastly, I guess we can kind of just real quick talk about drums. Yeah. And Tom, you and I have done a lot of projects recently. We've got some stuff coming up as well. And I think everybody, the allure of this, and it can get everything from super simple to really complex. But maybe what's the overarching theory and approach for drum kit? We kind of talked about this at the top of the series, an episode in terms of setting up and whatever. But when you go in to record do a drum session, what's kind of your thought, and what's your starting point for something?
Yeah. How hard is the person playing? How are they smacking the cymbals? Mm-hmm. What genre is it? Is the drum part there to supplement the track, or is it supposed to be the driving element in that track? So if we're doing a folky bass track, maybe it's just there to inform the groove and not be a main element in the song. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's mono mic it. Great, cool. Let's throw it in the back.
Tom, and I know you're a big proponent of do more with less. See how much of your drum sound you can get out of one or two mics.
Yeah, because if you're trying to make a kick drum sound massive, and you have 4 mics on it, and you're trying to make it massive because you have 4 mics on it, then maybe the kick drums, maybe you're not doing the right thing with the kick drum in the first place. Maybe the tuning of the kick drum has to be changed a little bit to make it sound massive on your overheads.
Right.
Or maybe you've got a phase issue.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's a big thing for you, Tom.
And that's kind of what we talk about too, is the more mics you start throwing on a source, the more interactions from a time standpoint and a phase standpoint you start to get into. So you might want to really you're never going to get a really hyper focused element right up the middle if the phase relationship of all the mics is kind of smearing, or everything, if it's perfectly phase aligned, all of a sudden you have this huge hump, and in the low mid range or mid range, you're going to be it's too much additive frequency buildup there of the same source. So there's not a reason to do that. The less you can get, the more.
Yeah, or it, again, extended technique. Maybe you want a little bit of faciness, and and I feel that's voodoo.
Shit. That comb filter sound.
Yeah, and
that's all some Brian May shit, Yeah.
And
pickups out of phase.
Yeah, and so but knowing start by jumping in the water before trying to swim against the current.
Totally.
Type thing.
And then you can play with it. You can maybe bring it up on the desk, flip some phases, see that relationship. Maybe you stumble on something cool. But it's and I think you're right too, then anything else beyond that, it gives you more options in post to play with. Maybe you don't have to use every single mic you put up in the production. Yeah. But maybe you have that super far distant hallway mic or something that you just use for that one post chorus, 2 measure drum fill thing, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe it becomes an effect, it becomes part of the production, and you have it there to use instead of And we like to do this a lot too, using an organic captured source as an effect before trying to like throw 1,000 different plugins to emulate something that could have been way cooler.
And I think just like in general, just good transformers, man. I don't know. I like it, like if you're like, what's like the desert island thing for anything? It's a mic pre that has a good transformer, or a mic that has a good transformer, depending on there's a whole bunch of different types of mics.
So basically, once you get that in and you've got the setup all rolling and you've found the sounds and you kind of have a nice chain dialed in, we've brought ourselves to the place that we will pick up with next week, because we're ready to roll tape and start figuring out how to get the good takes, right? So we will leave it there for now. This has been awesome. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and we will catch you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, thanks again for sticking with us on our journey through the record process. Next week on part 3 of our series on tracking, we're going to talk about getting takes. We're going to discuss things like setting the environment for your musicians, getting a good balance, how to bring out the best performances through good technique and more. And we're going to talk about some general rules to make things easier for yourself when you get to the end of a session and are ready to start comping takes together. So please stick around. We've been getting a lot of really cool feedback from people all over the world, and we're really excited to keep things going and keep the discussion moving. We're having a lot of fun doing this, and we hope you're enjoying it as well. So remember, if you are getting something out of it, please share the episode or subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're getting your podcasts, and we will catch you next time on The Record Process.